A pivotal year awaits Billy Napier down in Gainesville, and these are my best and worst case scenarios for Florida football in 2024. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that bell icon as well so you get notifications of when we go live and when we drop new video content, which is each and every single day. Also, guys, check out the podcast, which drops daily: iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms. And be sure, guys, to check out our website to stay up to date with the latest from us at SECUnfiltered.com. The following is brought to you by our friends over at RHOBACK. Guys, head over to RHOBACK.com, RHOBACK.com, and use the promo code SECU to get 20% off your entire first purchase. Guys, they just dropped their brand new Azalea collection, which you can see I am rocking right now. And guys, when I tell you that I have never been so excited to receive a piece of merchandise in the mail as I was with this Azalea polo, I mean, this thing is absolutely incredible and just in time for Masters Week next week, by the way. But guys, hey, the weather's warming up. It's golf season. It's baseball season. It's tailgate season, or whether you're just even hanging out around the house, guys, RHOBACK is the way to go. They got polos, they got hoodies, they got quarter zips, shorts, pants, even women's apparel. And like I mentioned, guys, in the spirit of the Masters, this Azalea collection just dropped, and be sure to head over there and get yours today because, guys, it's only out for a limited time. So again, that's our friends over at RHOBACK, RHOBACK.com, promo code SECU at checkout. That's RHOBACK.com, promo code SECU at checkout to get 20% off your entire first purchase. The pressure is on Billy Napier in Gainesville, Florida, as the Florida Gators prepare for the 2024 football season. And guys, when we talk best case and worst case scenarios for Florida in this 2024 season, we're talking realistic best case and worst case. Okay, well, I don't think we're not going to say worst case 0-12, best case 12-0. These are realistic best case and worst case scenarios. What is the floor and what is the ceiling of Gators football this season? And as we pull up the schedule, guys, I'm sure by now you are familiar with Florida's 2024 schedule. Listen, there is no team in college football that faces a gauntlet like what Florida has this season. Because when you do this, when you do these best case and worst case scenarios, you look at schedules and say, okay, how many wins are there? How many games that I can check off and say, in heavy black ink, I can put a W next to it? How many toss-ups are there? And how many L's are there? Guys, you're not going to find a schedule. Vanderbilt's schedule for Vandy has more guaranteed W's than what Florida's schedule presents. Outside of Samford, what is the game you look at and you say, oh, that's a guaranteed dub? Oh, that's one that Florida, you can go ahead and 100% certainty mark that off as a win. Humor me. Which game is it? What games are there? Because even Mississippi State, who's got a first-year head coach in Jeff Lebby, who's probably not going to be very good, that game is in Starkville. You got to go deal with the Cowbells. And you're already seeing people on social media talking about, hey, trap game. Some are even picking Mississippi State to pull the upset. But let's start, guys, with the best case scenario for Florida football this season. Because I think there's a path to this, right? Offensively, Graham Mertz takes the next step and is even better than he was last year. Other playmakers outside of Eugene Wilson step up on the outside. The Florida offense, better than expected. And defensively, you take that next step forward. You continue to improve. I think Florida, to their credit, I think the Gators can be better than what people are expecting because I think the expectations are very, very low, right? The over-under Vegas win total sitting at 5.5. What's wild about Florida, guys, is this. I think it's going to go one way or the other, really, truly. And in the best case scenario world, right, and all these question marks Florida has, meaning most of them work out for the positive. My best case for Florida, 7-5. I'm trying to set a realistic, guys, best case scenario. Is there anyone out there that feels like if Billy Napier went 7-5 this year with this schedule, that would be a bad season? Because, guys, the non-conference, yes, you get Samford. Outside of that, Miami, Central Florida, and at Florida State. And then you look at the SEC schedule. But I tell you guys, here's the area for opportunity. Here's where best case comes in. If you can take down Miami in week 1, right, that's going to be a feel-good win, rivalry game victory at the Swamp. Then you got Texas A&M in week 3. This is a game you expect to win if you're a Florida fan. Mike Elko, first-year coach. This is going to be a big road test for them. The Swamp will be rocking, especially if you beat Miami in week 1. If you can win that game, guys, all of a sudden, 5-0 could be in the cards. Florida could start, believe it or not, 5-0. I think that might be a little aggressive, but it's possible. You got the road trip to Rocky Top that's going to be tough, but you get Kentucky at home. That's one, if you're a Gator fan, you're looking at saying, okay, we need to win that football game. The guys, the back half of the schedule, this final 5 or 6 weeks, Kirby Smart himself made this. Like nobody's got a tougher closing stretch than Florida. Georgia, at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, at FSU. Florida could lose all 5 of those games. Like, realistically, they could. But maybe you pull that home upset against LSU. Maybe you do something crazy against Ole Miss. Maybe Florida State's not that good this year, and you can beat them in tally. I think beating Georgia or Texas that's probably a long shot. But I think 7 wins could happen, especially, guys, if early on, if you can beat Miami, if you can beat A&M, if you can beat Mississippi State, if you can start 4-1 or better. If you can start 4-1 or better, you can beat a Kentucky. I think there's an opportunity there to get to 7 wins. So best case scenario for Florida, I've got 7-5. This is where things start to get ugly because we're going to talk worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you lose that season opener to Miami. You lose to Texas A&M. And guys, for Billy Napier, things are going to snowball quickly. They're flat out, they're going to snowball quickly. There's a chance, guys, if things don't go well, Billy Napier might not be this team's head coach by the middle of October. Like, there's a real possibility that happens. I think if you lose to UCF at home, that would probably be the one that gets him fired. Like, I don't think Florida's going to shy away from a middle-of-the-season firing. I don't think they are. You lose to Miami. You lose to A&M. If you do get upset at State, right? Because there's only one guaranteed win on the schedule. It's Samford. Worst case scenario for Florida, 2-10. And again, this is worst case, but I think this is a realistic worst case, guys. I think this is a realistic worst case. Because Samford's a dub. Who else is a win? Where are you finding the victories here? Kentucky? I mean, guys, UCF even has Gus Malzahn and KJ Jefferson as their quarterback who just beat them last year with Arkansas. Miami's probably going to be a pretty good team this year. Texas A&M over in a win total of 8.5 for a reason, guys. They got hella talent. Again, Mississippi State not going to be very good, but the Cowbells, once that gets going, who knows? Maybe the 2 wins are Samford and State. But especially, guys, if things snowball early, Billy Napier gets fired midseason. I mean, this thing could go completely off the rails. So, and it's unlikely it's going to happen. I don't know that I necessarily, these are not predictions, by the way, guys. This is best case, worst case. Do I think 2-10 is going to happen? Probably not. But if things go sideways, it's not totally out of the question. So when you look at Florida's schedule, my best case and worst case scenarios, I got best case 7-5, worst case 2-10 for the Florida Gators. When you look at that schedule, that gauntlet that awaits the Gators, what would you say? Best case and worst case for Florida football in 2024. Guys, that's going to do all for me. I appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that bell icon as well so you get notifications of when we go live and when we drop new video content, which is each and every single day. Also, guys, check out the podcast, which drops daily, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms. And, guys, stay up to date with the latest from us at our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.